In this video, I'm going to break down U.S. Army basic training in 5 minutes or less. Alright, so whether or not I can actually do it in 5 minutes or less, I like to talk. We'll see, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to give you, first I'm going to start out with the requirements of U.S. Army basic training, and then we're going to break down each phase, what you can expect, and the overall layout of basic training. So I've given you a day in the life of basic training. Now we're going to talk about the broad overall schedule of basic training. Alright, so I've got the requirements here. So the requirements to complete basic training: you've got to complete a PT test. So that PT test consists of 2 minutes of push-ups, sit-ups, and a timed 2-mile run. It's based off your age and your gender, so there is a chart you can look up online that gives you the minimum requirements for each event. You've got to score a 50, 50, 50, so 50% in each event to pass. But for example, males 17 to 21 need 35 push-ups, 47 sit-ups, and 16 minutes 36 seconds or less on the 2-mile run. Other requirements: you must qualify with an M4 or an M16 service rifle. Each basic training differs. I know Fort Jackson does M4s, and like Fort Sill I think does M16s. But to qualify on that, you've got to get 23 out of 40 shots on target. You'll have different targets, so there will be like a 50 meter, 100 meter, 200 and 400 meter target, I think, something like that, that you got to qualify on. And then you've got to complete and pass all phase tests. So they consist of like basic Army knowledge, what else? Weapon skills, taking apart your weapon, putting it back together, customs and courtesies, rank structure, traditions of the Army, just Army knowledge in general that a basic soldier should know. And then you've got to complete I believe it's a 12K ruck march. I'm not sure. So you will do your ruck march at the beginning of the forge. So you cannot fall out. You've got to complete it. There's no time. You just got to complete it, but you can't fall out. So I think you walk at like it's like a 13 to 15 minute mile pace. I don't really remember. It's just a nice slow walk for 12 kilometers. So you can do it. And then you've got to uphold all Army values and uphold your integrity during basic training. So you can't sneak food into the barracks. You can't be a turd. Like, you've got to be a good soldier. And that is subjective, I guess, at the end of the day. Just don't get in trouble and you'll be fine. Alright, so an overview of basic training, breaking it down by phase. So you've got reception. Well, first you're going to leave MEPS, of course. And then you've got reception. That's where you arrive in a van, sometimes on a bus. You're going to get there. You're going to get in formation under welcome to the U.S. Army sign. The drill sergeant's going to come out, probably smoke you a little bit, and then you're going to go inside and do paperwork. And all reception is standing around and doing paperwork, getting your head shaved, getting your uniforms, getting everything you're going to need. It's you have long days. I didn't sleep at all at reception. You're standing in line, cannot talk. It is probably the worst part of basic training, to be honest. Reception blows, but it's one of those things you got to do. Stay motivated, do the best you can at reception, and don't let it get you down, because if you let reception get you down, you're in for a long basic training. Then after reception, you've got ship day, shark attack as they call it. This is when you ship to your actual basic training company, and you're going to do the shark attack. That's where your drill sergeant's like get you off the bus, running, screaming. It's the most intense day of basic training. You're gonna get smoked a lot. You can't do anything right. You're gonna do a lot of in-processing paperwork. You're gonna get in process and get a bed, all that good stuff. But shark attack is really hyped up, in my opinion. It wasn't that bad, and you'll be good. So after you get there and get settled in, you're in red phase. So red phase it's the hardest part of basic training. This is when the drill sergeants are in your face yelling the most. You're getting smoked a lot. Your PT is going to be the hardest. you're going to get, like I said, get smoked a lot. You get the least amount of sleep during red phase, which really sucks. You're doing the most PT, yet you're getting the least amount of sleep. So it's the most stressful part of basic training. So you're just learning the basics during red phase: how to walk, how to talk, how to eat chow, how to do PT. Like, you're learning the basics of everything that the Army, that you're going to build on later into basic training. So yeah, after red phase, you move on to white phase. This is where the drill sergeants become less mean. They're still going to be mean, but they become more of your mentor and try to teach you more. And then white phase has a big emphasis on rifle skills and qualification. So all 3 weeks of white phase, the first week, you're just going to learn how to hold a rifle, how to shoot a rifle, or the techniques of shooting a rifle, how to clean a rifle, all of that. And then that's the first week, how to get into the proper positions. And the last 2 weeks, you're going to the range every day, practicing for that first or for the second week. It's a range every day, all day. You're just learning how to fire. You're going to get like 40 rounds a day to fire and practice. The last week, you're going to the range every day again, and you're doing qualifications. You're going to qualify in your rifle. Like I said, you got to get 23 out of 40 to qualify, which is easy. If you can't do that, I mean, some people struggle with it, but I mean, it's kind of stressful, but it is what it is. You can do it. You begin doing your ruck marches. You've got less standardized PT, but you begin doing a lot more ruck marches. What you're going to do is you're going to ruck out to the rifle ranges that you're at, and that's going to be your practicing, building up your legs and feet for the ruck marches. And then you also begin your FTXs. You'll have 3 FTXs total. Technically, it's at the end of red phase, your first one, but I count it as white phase. So yeah. And then blue phase, you've got your final PT test. Blue phase is the final phase of basic training. You've got your final PT test. You will do your final FTX, FTX3, the forge. I have a video on my channel of it. The forge is basically like a 4-day training exercise that you have to do to pass basic training. It's a graduation requirement. That's also when you do your 12-mile ruck march, or 12K. It's the easiest part of basic training, drill sergeant wise, but it is the hardest part physically, even though you would think red phase is. White phase is 4 days of very little sleep, 2 to 4 hours of sleep a night. The forge, you walk over 60 miles, so it's tough on your body. But and then blue phase consists of family day and graduation day. After the week 1 of blue phase, you'll do your final PT test and step off for the forge. Then you'll come back and you'll have 2 weeks left of basic training. You will clean all your gear, clean up the squad bay, get ready for get ready to out process your basic training post. You'll out process, and then the final week is graduation week. You'll practice on Monday for family day, practice on Tuesday for graduation, Wednesday's family day, Thursday's graduation day. If you are driving to your basic or your AIT, you'll leave on Thursday. If you're flying to your AIT, you'll leave on Friday. And then yeah, so that's basic training: red phase, white phase, blue phase. PT wise, beginning week number 2 of basic training, you will have a PT test, and you will do a PT test every other weekend on a Saturday until the end of basic training. You have 3 diagnostic PT tests, which is just practice, and then right before you start the forge in blue phase, you will take your final PT test, and you have to pass your final PT test with a 50-50-50, like I said. And if you do not pass your final PT test, you will take it again after the forge, which your body is really beat up after the forge, so I advise you to pass it on the day they want you to pass it. So yeah, that's U.S. Army basic training breakdown. I didn't make it in 5 minutes or less, but hey, I'm sorry. I was trying to give you the best information I can. So hope that helped you out. Any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down in the comment section below. I get back to every comment. Come on over to my Instagram to ask me questions at pwilson35. Also check out Better Bodies for all you fitness geeks out there. But yeah, that's the video. Hope you guys liked it. Take it easy.